The Brisbane nightlife is a place of good fun, good friends, and good music. But for musicians with a disability, moving into the industry is a hard gig, and to be given a fair shot in the nightlife can often end with hardship and an inbox of rejection. But not for much longer. My focus is those who identify as social disabled. These are people like Rick Allen, the one-armed drummer for Def Leppard, or Ray Charles, the blind singer. Or with us today, Mitch Medcalf, the blind DJ. How would you describe your experience getting into the industry?
It was very positive. A few venues have sort of been reluctant to take me on, given that I don't have sight, but they're not the things I dwell on. Parts of me get why, but parts of me know what I'm capable of, and I just have to look at the venues that I have worked for and that I do work for, and it's not something that I really dwell on. You know, I always look to the positives and play each week, and I love going out and playing each week.
What are the technical differences in learning to DJ?
I learnt how to DJ, but I learnt the very basics when I was 11. I mean, every DJ's got to learn how to beat match and not to mix vocals on top of vocals. How I categorise my music would scare the hell out of a lot of people. I have music all on one USB under genre and then under alphabetical order under that genre. And, you know, we all need to learn how to use the equipment that we're playing on. And the controller I use now, I'm lucky enough to have had Tony show me how to use it.
So do you feel that the industry for disabled artists has been improving?
In the last 3 years, I've had a lot of positive experiences and not too many negative ones. I've played both disabled showcases and general venues from week to week. And yeah, I think it's good. You know, I always go back to the positive experiences. I don't dwell on when I have a negative experience. I just, I keep going. I don't let things stand in the way of a groove. And I rock up and I play and I love it. I always appreciate the opportunity to do it, so yeah.
After hearing from Mitch, I spoke with the professional DJ and mentor, Tony Harvey, who has helped Mitch and taught fellow disabled artist Deaf Will Kroger to DJ. How have you noticed the integration of disabled artists into the industry?
I've noticed disabled artists since the 90s actually. The first artist I noticed was a guy called Paul Johnson, who'd released a song called Get Down. It's a massive hit around the world. So the industry has always been open to disabled artists. It's just in Australia here it's probably taken us a lot longer than the rest of the world. For a venue it's a risk. You have normal professional DJs out there and like they've got the reins, and then you have someone who's deaf or blind, trying to get a gig over a person who's normal. So when the person shows their skill set, well, it's like, of course it's going to be, they're definitely going to take the risk then and book them for further gigs.
How do you think the public responds to the integration of these artists?
Public, it's like, they just think it's like amazing that a person having that sort of disability can do something that a person without it, and sometimes I think those boys can actually do it better than the normal guys.
After seeing Mitch, Tony and Will DJ live, as well as experiencing the nightlife, I went to speak with Jonathan Shree, Brisbane politician and large advocate for disability in the arts.
So I noticed actually that disabled artists are generally underrepresented. They're not as visible, you don't see as many of them performing, and it tends to be that when they are platformed, it's almost like a exoticizing disability issue, so they sort of end up in a niche of their own, which is also kind of weird. I think it's really about what can the arts industry as a whole do to cater for disabled artists. So that includes having good pathways for amateur artists to become professional. It includes better mentorship opportunities. We need better funding and better support services, but we also need venues to proactively prioritise putting disabled artists on the stage. Venue organisers, event managers start saying, look, I'm going to go out of my way to book disabled artists and give them a platform, because there are so many barriers and so many systemic discriminations against them getting gigs otherwise.
The disabled community in the Brisbane nightlife is growing rapidly in scale. As I've discovered, this can be attributed to the upcoming rise of collaborations between customers, communities, and business professionals, like the Proud Henry and artists like Mitch. Additionally, the bias towards these artists is slowly disappearing and are becoming more welcoming, more like home. And I truly look forward to watching this grow and being part of the change.